Criminals often flee to Cambodia, which is considered their paradise. Vietnam borders three countries, China, Laos, and Cambodia. The total land border between Vietnam and Cambodia is 1,137 kilometers long. The northernmost point is the Vietnam-Laos-Cambodia tri-border marker, while the southernmost point is the coast of the Gulf of Thailand in Ha Tien, Kien Giang. Compared to the borders with Laos and China, the land border with Cambodia is significantly shorter. While the border with China is over 1,400 kilometers long and with Laos over 2,000 kilometers. So why not cross into Laos or China but choose Cambodia instead? In reality, crossing into Cambodia is much easier than the other two countries, literally speaking. The Vietnam-Cambodia border runs through mountains in subsections, but most of it is plains and rivers. Less treacherous than the borders with Laos and China. Provinces bordering Cambodia like Tay Ninh, Long An, and Giang and Kien Giang have countless spontaneous that smugglers or illegal border crossers can exploit. Here, Vietnamese communities often create transit points and provide convenient support for border crossers. Additionally, the Mekong River and its tributaries make crossing by water easier. Many people only need to row a boat for a few hours to reach Cambodia without much hindrance. Cambodia is also known for having looser border management compared to Laos and China. At border gates like Hong Kong, Bagat, or border provinces like Phnom Penh, movement between the two countries is not just even when using illegal trails. The chance of being arrested in Cambodia is low, due to insufficient personnel at this country's border force to control the entire border. Moreover, corruption in Cambodia's management system makes things easier for border crossers. With just a small bribe, many individuals can cross the border without trouble. Let's compare a bit with other neighboring countries. Compared to Laos, the Vietnam-Laos border is over 2,000 kilometers long and famously treacherous. This is one of the most difficult borders to cross because most of it lies on high mountains, dense forests, and the Trong Son terrain challenges anyone. Those wanting to cross into Laos often face harsh natural conditions, not to mention the risk of getting lost in the forest. Furthermore, although Laos has friendly relations with Vietnam, the Lao government is very strict in border management. Laos is not an ideal place for criminals to hide because their legal system, though not too complex, firmly handles illegal immigration cases. Especially with Vietnamese people, if caught in Laos, the risk of deportation to Vietnam or detention is very high. As for the Vietnam-China border, it is the most strictly managed route. China uses modern technology like surveillance cameras, drones, dense checkpoints, and solid security fences, making illegal border crossing a risky gamble. Not only that, China has a strong network of local police and border guards, ready to cooperate with Vietnam to handle illegal border crossing cases. Particularly, if discovered in China, border crossers will face the legal system and have little chance of escape. Geographically, Cambodia is indeed the easiest destination for criminals. But not only because of geography. In the eyes of Vietnamese criminals, Cambodia is like a promised land to evade the law and earn a list. Both escaping and making money, criminals naturally choose Cambodia. Therefore, in Vietnam, criminals going to Cambodia sometimes become businessmen. The laxity in Cambodian law creates fertile ground for those who want to escape and make a profit at the same time. Cambodia's leniency stands for its legal and judicial systems having many loopholes. In border areas or remote rural areas, Cambodian police hardly care about minor incidents for criminals without international warrants. Moreover, obtaining fake documents here is too easy. A Vietnamese gangster can easily buy freedom, or at least gain more time to flee elsewhere. That's why many criminals die. But hiding isn't everything. Cambodia also offers great money-making opportunities for criminals. With dozens of illegal operations in cities like Phnom Penh, Sihanoukville, or Babat. These operations are perfect places for them to both launder money and practice their trade. There are professional online scammers setting up so-called call centers specializing in cross-border phone scams. With internet and computers sitting in Cambodia, they can extract money from pockets of people in Vietnam and other countries. And the environment here is too ideal. Lax technology control laws and underground forces providing backing. Cambodia also has a very large Vietnamese community, up to about 1 million people if counting those of Vietnamese descent. Vietnamese people around Con Lay Sap or neighborhoods in Phnom Penh become perfect camouflage would they easily blend in, disguising themselves as traders, construction workers, fishermen without anyone suspecting. Some even take advantage of their compatriots' kindness to find hiding places or seek financial support. Once settled here, living costs in Cambodia are generally quite cheap. Criminals can live comfortably without worries. Meanwhile, they can still earn money from all kinds of deals like smuggling contraband, organizing illegal gambling, or even participating in human trafficking networks. But of course, Cambodia isn't a promised land forever. Criminal activities not only damage Cambodia's image but also strain relations with Vietnam. Both governments have made many cooperation efforts from extradition to strengthening border security. To end soon, because there remain huge gaps in Cambodia. So criminals are often confident that once in Cambodia, even if Vietnam discovers them, extradition is very difficult. The difficulty in extraditing criminals from Cambodia to Vietnam is one of the prominent issues in bilateral relations, especially as Cambodia increasingly becomes a favored hiding place for criminals from Vietnam. Although both countries signed an extradition agreement over a decade ago and have many legal cooperation, practical implementation faces many obstacles. These difficulties stem not only from differences in legal systems but also from many other factors. First, differences in legal systems between the two countries pose a major challenge. Vietnam has a centralized legal system with relatively quick prosecution and extradition process. Meanwhile, Cambodia operates under a legal model with many Western influences, with complex and sometimes lengthy litigation procedures. Each country has its own regulations regarding evidence, charges, and extradition, making consensus in case handling is easy. For example, some behaviors considered serious crimes in Vietnam like online might not be taken seriously or lack corresponding legal frameworks in Cambodia. Additionally, identifying criminals' identities and nationalities is also a difficult problem. Many subjects cross the border to Cambodia and of course they use fake documents. Cambodian authorities often struggle to confirm whether someone is truly Vietnamese, especially when they blended into the Vietnamese community in Cambodia and many for people of Vietnamese descent in Cambodia don't have citizens. This not only delays extradition procedures but sometimes leads to disputes between both sides. Moreover, corruption in Cambodia also affects extradition cooperation effectiveness. Criminals, especially those with money or connections, easily use money to bribe Cambodian officials, prolong processing time, or even get protection from pursuit. This not only erodes trust between law enforcement agencies but also gives criminals opportunities for long-term evasion. Political factors also present significant barriers. In many cases, criminals exploit complex relations between the two countries to seek political asylum or seek protection from local powers. Cambodia has an unstable political system and is frequently influenced by interest groups, sometimes unable or unwilling to immediately respond to extradition requests from Vietnam, especially in sensitive cases. Finally, Cambodia's law enforcement capacity remains limited. Police forces and law enforcement agencies here often lack resources, personnel, and modern technology to pursue and handle criminals. Lax border management makes it easy for many subjects to cross the border and continue to hide deeper into other areas. Therefore, although Vietnam and Cambodia had an agreement on criminal extradition, in reality, there are still many difficulties in implementation. Criminals remain beyond the control of Vietnamese and Cambodian law. Perhaps you now understand why Cambodia has become a haven for criminals. First, the Vietnam-Cambodia border is easier to move across and escape compared to the Vietnam-Laos and Vietnam-China borders. Second, when going to Cambodia, criminals not only evade Vietnamese authorities but can also earn money there. Therefore, criminals choose Cambodia as a place to hide and make money. Thank you for following this story. Traveling through lands. Discovering new things. Don't hesitate, please leave your feedback. And please don't forget to share.